Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2, where it's always my pleasure to introduce to you the most relatable Terran player. Whether it's his focus on macro, his questionable micro, or his top-tier mind games, with a barracks and spitting distance of his opponent's base. It is the people's Terran. It's Cure. And not too far away, with a Nexus and the blue probes in the bottom right. The best Protoss player outside of Korea. Arguably the #1 in the world and currently the best against Terran worldwide. The mysterious MaxPax, the Twilight Toss, and a best of 5 Protoss versus Terran showdown in this Grandmaster's Coliseum, put on by the World Team League, but showing the individual strength of these top-tier players. Well, you know what? I'm gonna say it. For the first time, realizing that Cure, as one of the top 5 players in the world, probably has the edge. It was my reflex to say that as the people's Terran. I don't know, it could go either way, but I think Cure is the slight favorite here, in our hearts and with his minds. So hopefully, you'll enjoy, and you don't have much time to like and subscribe before the first bunker and the first zealot comes down to deal with it. And Jimmy, what are we at before? Oh my, he killed the SCV. Yep. Oh, okay, we got time. And 1,130 likes, though. 1,130 likes. Okay, that's another series. And, well, I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And I think with these two, it's gonna get a little bit better. So, Proxy Reaper gets 2 probe kills. He doesn't get the bunker on the low ground. There is a zealot out, but we're already off to the races here. With MaxPax meeting aggression with whatever he can. Cure retreating back with those Reapers so he has something behind the wall to defend. And Cure's trademarked Widow Mines that he's built much of his career off of, especially in this matchup. Already on the field. The 3rd unit built. So that mine on the high ground as well as the command center. But MaxPax, honestly, superficial damage. Especially considering he's able to... well, Cure actually kind of delayed his own expansion, as building a barracks and multiple Reapers on the other side has a tendency to do. And luckily for MaxPax, he had a probe in to see all of that as well. So, Reaper... Stalkers come up doing what they do best. Sneaking up on you. And a Stargate is completed with a Phoenix on the way. Just something to help deal with this. Stalker trying to run down the Reapers. But it's not going to happen. The Zealot is hanging out. It's going to be a Widow Mine drop to kick things off. Potentially deadly, but at least economically concerning for MaxPax if he can't deal with it head on. Because even if you don't kill the mines outright, the amount of mining time lost can be pretty devastating in the face of the Terran economy. But again, Cure doesn't have an expansion. MaxPax very aware of that as the Zealot is just kind of hanging out. Phoenix spots the medevac. He knows what's in there. He's got a very good idea. Here comes a Stalker, a second Phoenix. The first Widow Mines will burrow. He doesn't yet kill it. 1 Widow Mine so far. He gets 3 probes. The other 2... Oh, Cure didn't even burrow it. Trying to get the second mine. Uh-oh, it's going to burrow. Alright, he deals with 1. He's going to defuse the other one violently, but oh no. Reapers got into the main and 8 kills thus far. So before it's all said and done, 8 probe kills. Though he will get the medevac and all the mines, as well as the Reapers here. So the SCVs, the siege tank, will strongly suggest that Zealot leave the premises. The Zealot begrudgingly will do so for now. Well, that was a little bit more damage than expected. Nice bait and switch there with Cure sending the Reapers in simultaneously. That doesn't mean MaxPax is in a too troublesome position, as right now he can just pick up the tank, get up underneath it. There is still that Raven worth taking out, even if it costs him one of these Phoenixes. Produces another. The Zealot somehow survives throughout all that, not even giving its life prior. But getting the Phoenix is a big part, and that actually, I think, inspires... Okay, maybe not inspires, but makes the Robo Bay that MaxPax slaps down that much more effective. Because without the Raven to dismantle the Colossi, or at least essentially lock them down with Interference Matrix, it becomes a lot easier to deal with any early pushes with the early Marine Marauder. And Kier knows that. That's why he's building another Raven. But MaxPax, still continuing Phoenix production. He's not willing to give up any sort of air control here. And in fact, the Marines are not nearly enough to deal with these Phoenixes. He's just going to keep picking apart the SCVs, and if the Raven is spotted again, I wouldn't be surprised if MaxPax spends a Phoenix or two to take it out. It is the centerpiece of the defense, or, well, really, of most of the Terran army in the early game. I don't know if he spotted the Raven. I believe he didn't. But those Phoenixes staying very active, and what can Kier do to stop him? There's nothing right now. There's no options. He can't get out of his base. He committed to that early pressure, and it didn't quite do enough to slow MaxPax down. So now MaxPax kind of gets the run of the place. It comes down to whether Kier can put together a two-base timing strong enough to either carve out the map and allow him to move back out onto it, or he breaks himself against whatever MaxPax has for defense. Extended thermal lance on the way. The Raven is out. Siege tank brought with Cyclone leading the charge. The Phoenixes looking for any opportunity they might get. Kier, that Raven is everything right now. If he's not able to interference matrix the Colossi, ooh, the Raven, both players, very focused on it at the moment. Oh, MaxPax wants it so badly. Medevacs coming up for the Stim Marines and Marauders. And Stim is indeed done. MaxPax moving into position to catch him on the high ground if possible. Still a very scary Terran army here, as it's 57 to 42 army supply. There really isn't that much for MaxPax. He's on one gate. What? This is a mech toss strategy. He's adding 4 more gates now, but everything he's built is off of a single gateway. I guess a Stargate counts as a gate, but he's really focused on these tech units quite clearly. Raven has a lot of energy, about to have 2 interference matrices. MaxPax actually a little supply blocked very temporarily by losing the Spylon there. Another double medevac drop is heading out. He did not do a Reaper wall, so he's not vulnerable in this location. The medevacs, he's just going to take them out. Kier, a little ambitious. Enough Marines drop out. As the foothold here, a toehold, really. The Raven, he scrambles both of the Colossi, but what is it going to accomplish? Well, it's going to keep MaxPax busy, at least in dealing with the drop here. Colossus comes out. 5 probes go down, making things somewhat difficult. There are those Widow Mines, which will get nice hits off onto the Phoenixes. He actually is going to take out several of those Phoenixes. So this goes from a comfortable cleanup to surprising damage here, as Kier is able to get the double drop in. Those Widow Mines softening up the Phoenixes. Kier kind of paused on the attack towards the main, but he's got a 3rd base behind, and now he's MaxPax only has a 4-worker lead. That double drop just evening things up, if not pushing them more in favor of Kier, as MaxPax doesn't really have the production in order to follow it up. He's on 7 gates now, but he hasn't been building off of them this entire time. They just came up. So while Kier back at home, he has barracks 4 and 5 coming online. He's been pushing off of 3, which outstrips the production that MaxPax was able to bring to the table. MaxPax was relying on zoning him out with his high-tech units, and he kind of succeeded. But the double drop, as so often it does, ruined his plans at a swift cleanup of that army. Now, it is by no means over. In fact, it's likely just begun, because now Kier has the economy of 3 bases. MaxPax is going for a 4th. But Kier, this is still an army that's going to be difficult to deal with without the Colossi. You got a Templar Archives, it looks like just for Archons. The Widow Mines making things difficult on the counterattack front. The Nexus is already dead. Shield battery overcharged late on the draw. Not that it would have saved it. He's gonna get another base. And into the main come the charge lots, but at the same time, 2 bases are taken out by Kier. Handful of SCVs. Looks like some more damage will be dealt. bring some Marauders back to deal with the Zealot reinforcements. There are Marines inside the main. Ghosts are popping out as well. This is actually getting a little dicier than maybe it should have been here for Cure, but he still has an army that's going to be almost impossible to beat. He needs those Colossi back at home, and they just keep wandering out on the map. Those are House Colossi, and there's not too many residences with which to recall to. Again, MaxPax struggles to really engage the army head-on. Yeah, a single heroic Zealot, a single one, seems to be getting the damage done. Is it still going? Oh my god, Bob, the hero's too angry to die. 10 kills. Finally, a couple Marauders. We'll take it out. That one Zealot may have kept MaxPax in this game, but he's hanging on by a thread right here. Another drop comes in. More SCV is going to go down. Zealot's trying to... Cure knows the damage he's done. He's knocked MaxPax back to 2 bases. He barely has the probes. It's turned into a scrappy game, as so many games, especially with Cure, do. But that sheer army supply is going to be nearly impossible to compete with. Not even close to the 2-2 upgrades on either side. But there are too many Marauders. The Immortal's gone. The Archons are nothing. The Colossi are knocked to the ground. And with it... I'm sorry, MaxPax. And with it... GG. Cure takes game 1. It looked like it could have gone either way for a while there. In fact, I would have argued maybe MaxPax had an advantage, but he didn't capitalize and he didn't get his production up in time. And when you rely on just a handful of high-tech units and they're slightly out of position, well, it becomes easy to fall apart. Cure exploiting that and following it up with that economic, mechanical powerhouse we know. And the People's Terran off to a pretty decisive game 1 victory. And sets the series at 1-0. Alright, Gresbin for game 2. I think MaxPax has more up his sleeve. The commitment to the Phoenixes was helpful, but at the end of the day, it clearly ate in. I gotta keep going back to the gateway production. That's the most important thing. That's something that Cure, it isn't flashy at all, and that's why. It's a blue mineral Terran. But getting those barracks up in a timely manner, making sure you have the ability to use your economy on whatever amount of bases you're on, is incredibly important. It's surprisingly nuanced, both for Protoss and for Terran. And it's kind of easy to miss as Protoss because of the way Protoss mechanics work. It's very... I'm not saying MaxPax made a mistake, but instead intentionally relying on that heavy tech play. But because of Warpgate and the inability to queue up units, it can sometimes feel like you're spending your money, even though you're not actually building units, because it's going into Colossi, Phoenixes, expansions, more tech. And then you realize, well, I didn't really have anything for those Warpgate units anyways. Cure is not a player who's going to be caught without his 3 and his 5 racks. He is a player that you can take as a textbook. All right, don't try to copy Beyond, Clem, Maru. Let's be realistic here. Everybody might fantasize about being them, but more relatably, they should be a Cure. Or as what apparently his original name he wanted, that then he couldn't commit to it, was Antidote, which is definitely more dramatic. But I think Cure, both for character limits and for identity, has worked out well. The 4-letter Korean pro gamer names have always been pretty OP, in my opinion. Maru, Zest, Stats. Okay, 3 to 5 letters. That's what I'll give you. See, that's the only reason I'm not a Korean pro gamer. That and, well, there's a couple other things, but we won't go into too much detail. Reactored Hellions. Will he continue building Hellions, or is this another way to go Widowmine? Try it, yeah. So, Widow Minecraft. Kira's favorite game. The Adept is recalled. Does take a few hits from the Hellions, but he gets a bead on the reactor, as well as the timing of the starport. It is going to be Blink this time around, not relying on the Stargate Robo. I don't think MaxPax is gonna... the Widow Mine drop wasn't successful directly in the previous game, but it still drew so much attention. It opened up the opportunity for the Reapers to get in, as well as a ton of mining time lost. I don't really think it was until MaxPax committed to his tech over his production, aka getting like Templar archives instead of Morgaze, until Kira really found an opening. But we'll see this time around, as that is 4 Widow Mines in a medevac. Well, Blink is pretty far from done. Here comes the boosted medevac. Not unexpected. I think he was expecting a Hellion drop, which is why those stalkers were there. He sacrifices 3 probes on the altar of dealing with those mines. But wait, there's more! Widow Mine number 4, come on down. He keeps retargeting, gets some more damage. Blink not quite done yet. Medevac slips out. 4 kills, but he gets out with the So that means MaxPax has to leave some of his stalkers at home. So that is arguably better than getting 8 probes and losing the medevac in the mines, as that threat remains and anchors some of the units still in the main. As now 39 to 41 workers. MaxPax gonna go hard for the Blink Stalker aggression here. He needs to get some damage done. It is somewhat required, as he doesn't have the economy otherwise. And the Widow Mines come out again. Oh, he retargets. 4 more probes. Will be dealt with, though. Going straight for the tank. Gets 1. Juggles some of the rest back. The tank not quite in range for the rest, so MaxPax off to an okay start. What do we got over here? Looks like the Hellions tried to come in. And now the Widow Mines. Oh, that's a lot of stalkers. Blancin goes straight for the tank. Does Cure have enough to deal with it? I don't think so. As he already used the auto turret, the SCVs are off the line. The stalkers are in a precarious position. Another siege tank pops out. So it looks like Cure will hold for now. But at what cost? And now, is there any siege tank on the low ground? He's got a wall here, but he goes... There's only 3 Marines total split between the bunkers. Juggles him into the second bunker. MaxPax going in again. He's got that Adept recalled from earlier. Remember me? I have returned. Eats a siege tank shot, though. Did he need to? Probably not, but still keeps him busy. More SCVs will go down without the bunker. Things are spiraling here. He gets on top of the tank, blocks forward. Ghetto Blanks back with the prism. Auto turret doing a lot of damage. Marauder is a very important part of this. Kira is holding the line, but he's losing a lot of SCVs. More stalkers. Just breaking through the supply depots, though he's already done Kira a favor in reducing his supply dramatically before this. 11 SCVs and counting. 41 to 32. And there's no counter-aggression here. There's no way for Kira to be doing damage on the other side. And now there's no way to stop these stalkers in the main. He's going for the siege tech. He can go for the tech lab upgrading stim. He actually backs off, but for another war pit. That stim upgrade is so important. Gives him an opportunity to drive the stalkers out of his main potentially once and for all. But the stalkers at the natural as well. MaxPax is surgically dismantling. Well, surgically dismantling with blaster rifles. Or whatever the particle disruptors. Either way, it sounds something very dangerous. But the dismantling will continue until morale improves, or you type GG. 21 SCVs down. And counting. As he's back in the main, he's not gonna stop. Cure getting stretched apart. He's still... he's not dead. But... It's closer with every blink. I think with MaxPax and all his consolidated stalkers in the main, there's 1 medevac. He's gonna bring everything back here. The medevac's already out of energy. The starport itself, there's just not enough units left. 1 siege tank on the low ground, but the starport gonna go down. Without any medevacs, these units are already at half HP. Can't even bother stibbing again. That's 21 Stalkers. Here, a valiant attempt. But MaxPax exploited the main weakness here of going for that really heavy Widowmine drop aggression. You just don't have the barracks early. You just don't have that many bio units. You essentially sprinted towards medevacs and Widowmines, which didn't leave a lot of time to be building Marines and Marauders. You didn't have a standing... Well, actually, it's kind of like what MaxPax did last game, where he, instead of going for just sheer army, tried to get by on just high-tech units. And while this process is dramatically drawn out, the Warp Prism finally goes... Will you die already, Kier? All right, I've been outroing this game for 3 minutes. There goes the medevac. There go the SCVs. There goes Kier, all tied up 1-1. Well. No, Jimmy, not that one. That's the one. MaxPax punches back as Kier not able to get away with rushing for just the Widowmine drop. And that's the key point, is when you go for that heavy tech, there is a time, well, you saw before Stim, before really the add-ons are on the additional ranks, there just aren't that many units. You're relying on Terran as somewhat the threat of siege tanks. What is this? Good luck, have fun. Did he type GLHF wrong, or does he put an asterisk, like, if you don't Widowmine drop me, bro? Which, you know, would be a very Terran thing to do, so I'm assuming MaxPax's not doing that. May have said it wrong earlier. Read into that, but all tied up at 1-1. We're going to game 3. And Kier, as an SCV, has a 100% win rate with proxying racks. Now, can I say game 1 was based off the proxy racks? And that, oh my god, is it Marauders? Kier, you sly dog. This is one of the many reasons Kier is the people's Terran. Alright? Kier's like, look, I tried to play a macro game, and he just blinks Stalker all in me. It's like, but you just proxy raxed him. Yeah, I guess I'll just proxy rax then, if that's how we're gonna play. No, but... Well... Here we are. Two proxy racks. Now, what flavor are we gonna see? As he has a gas, but only one. Curiously, it's Marauders. He's even building the depot out here. Might as well, your SCV's already off the line. Why waste more mining time? MaxPax has expanded. He's going to see a severe lack of barracks in the base. The implications are clear, though it's hard to know exactly what flavor of cheddar it's going to be. The second gas not being taken makes it look like a proxy Reaper. Now, not guaranteed though. Certainly not. And in fact, there's a shield battery on the way. Now it comes down to reaction time. Concussive shells is not done, very importantly. He's firing at that shield battery. The Marauder is quite a fearsome foe for almost everything in the early game, especially once it gets concussive shells. A lot of pretty intense micro to be done here. We'll see if 2 shield batteries is enough. And he finishes both without any real damage on him. The Marauder count is growing. The only question, well, the real question, and the probe's still in the main. So MaxPax knows exactly how committed Kier is. He's still building probes himself. 2 shield batteries. Will that be enough? Another Stalker comes down, but obviously the Marauder count, he waited till 5. That's the number here. Is there energy for shield battery overcharge? There should be in a moment. The SCV's actually blocked in the Zealot. He's starting to take it even more seriously. He's adding 2 more, a pylon and a shield battery there. Gonna start bashing his way through. The shield batteries are not the highest HP. They've only got 200, 200. 150, 150. I'm sorry. I should have known that. So, not particularly hardy creatures. In fact, almost losing the energy on that one. MaxPax looking to zone this out. The boys are pulled. The probe will see it. Cure is all in. MaxPax should know that now, but the severe lack of anything in the main. There's enough energy for shield battery overcharge, which means it will be exhausted by the time the boys have arrived. The SCVs are on their way across the map, and this game will end with them one way or another. Here we go. The Marauders will work their way in, just running past the Zealot. The probes are pulled. The SCVs to the front lines. Workers on both sides. Even more shield batteries finishing. We still got 30 seconds on shield battery overcharge. We're making another Zealot. SCVs and probes dying, of course. The workers on the front line of the battle. A lot of the Marauders are badly bruised, but a Stalker is blasted down by the Marauders, and it feels like the Marauder count might just be too high here. He's taking permanent damage on him. He can't get re-shielded. There's still so many, though. Well, down to 4. He's getting some more Marauders are coming up, working through the Stalkers. But if shield battery overcharge comes back, MaxPax is down to 26 probes. There it is. He may have turned the tides here. Just barely. 1 or 2 Stalkers, 1 or 2 Marauders, one way or another. But I think MaxPax has done it. MaxPax has held. There's still enough SCVs to maintain the Marauder production, but nothing else. Kier right now is banking that he killed enough probes. He didn't. That was not enough. And now there are 3 gates. More production here for MaxPax than Cure can match. With more economy. And the shield batteries regain energy. Shield battery overcharge comes off cooldown. And Cure will be shut down, barring a massive mistake out of MaxPax in Game 3. Cure boldly taking an expansion here. I guess with one... he sent an SCV. He's getting stim now. He's not willing to give this up quite yet. I can't blame him. There's always an opportunity. MaxPax can't actually see the low ground from here because he's locked in to the main base, awkwardly. It's unlikely, though. Cure is banking on MaxPax getting caught out of position with just these basic gateway units against Stimmed and now Marine Marauder. It's not impossible. Marauder came back. The probe finally dies 6.5 minutes in. A second probe scouting out. Not quite in vision. Gonna be spotted by the Marauder. Here come the Stalkers. This is of... Stim was done. This is the moment. Cure. There's another probe. Cure's fighting. Honestly, not a bad angle for the Marauders. But I don't think there are enough of them. Stim is nearly done, but not done yet. Very important distinction. And once again, I think the Stalker count is just too high. He may be able to take out the tech labs here as well. Might as well. Stim might complete. But in the end, will it even matter? He's lifting the racks. There's no ability to build non-SCVs for quite a while. All right, Cure. Yes. I could still hold the high ground. Okay, it's not over. Okay, I can float by buildings. Okay, Cure. He scans the natural, giving him an excuse when he sees the probe count. He was gambling that the probe count wasn't there. That he didn't quite do the damage. Or MaxPax didn't quite have the economy. And that he was all in. He wasn't. And that scan, which he was kind of unwilling to use, I'm sure he suspected by that point, but pursues every avenue. But MaxPax on MaxPax. point. Packs, no. Packs your bags, Cure. It's max time. Game 4. Royal Blood. MaxPax up 2-1. Now, honestly, I just think there was so many points. It's so hard to tell. Neither player played wrong in that scenario. I don't think Cure made big mistakes. It's just MaxPax got the slightly better end of it. Getting one Marauder here or there kind of had reverberating consequences, as Cure just didn't quite have enough. And I like that MaxPax, he was building the second shield battery. I don't know if he was 100% convinced it was Marauders off the one gas, though usually if you're going to follow up with Factory, you need two, so that may have given it away. But with a relatively comprehensive defense, allowed him one shield battery would not have been enough early on. So making sure he has what he needs to shut down the cheese, and even then still, such a close thing. Alright, probe pops in. There is a barracks, notably, in Cure's base. Not a sure thing by any means. Did he see anything else? Nope. But that already narrows down the options. MaxPax has gone from... Okay, now might not be the time to say this, but MaxPax has gone from a... Well, the MaxPax build originally was named after him. Obviously, where you would just proxy a gateway instead of doing a 2-gate. Because he realized you could probably get 1 gate and then just recall back if you needed it. So it was essentially the most efficient early Protoss aggression. And for quite a while, Terrans really didn't know how to deal with it. Especially anyone outside of the very top. He found a lot of success with that to start, but he's become a much more well-rounded player. We do see here nothing like this. We're talking about the first gateway, by the way. Honestly, MaxPax, it's a testament to how good MaxPax has gotten that most of the time I forget that he was just essentially a meme build for several months before he started becoming a regular tournament contender. Though, we may have discovered why you don't always want to just send your units across. And that reason is because Protoss don't have doors, and even if they did, the Reapers could still get in anyways and kill most of your probes. This is an absolute disaster. 6 probes dead to 2 Reapers. Yes, he might have an expo, but there's no other tech here. The SCV trying to get some more of this base done. Won't for now. Losing 6 probes and not even getting the Reapers. This is a disaster for MaxPax. Yes, there's the 1 Stalker back at home. But there's no Twilight, there's no Stargate. It is just sheer gateway units here. A second, Cure really doesn't want to give up this base. He's even bringing that second tank down. Unsieged fighting. Gonna siege it up right next to the SCV. And I think MaxPax is kind of forced into some sort of attack here. More SCVs coming down off the line. Cure making sure he's ready. Either economically or militarily. Maybe a bit of both. SCVs can fill both roles. What, you run out of Marines? Definitely not an ideal start. MaxPax wanting to get some counter aggression done. It's by no means out of it. Did he spot? Oh, he saw the gate. That is unfortunate. Though he might be able to turn it into a bonus here. If he has enough units. Oh, but the siege tanks. No, 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 no. No amount of stalker splitting is going to solve that. 2 siege tanks blasts apart several stalkers. Doesn't get anything in return, and in fact, MaxPax a bit supply block. Oh, a rocky start here. Robo Bay is on the way. Potential saving grace. But Cure already has 3 siege tanks. He's working on Stim. Where are the medevacs? That'll be the timer for the first attack. Even another probe kill. Stalker will eventually... Well, I think the probes actually claimed the kill there, but... How long on medevacs? Pretty long, considering he doesn't have a starport. Which Cure is remedying now, but... I think MaxPax is going to see that. Oh! The observer was spotted by the missile turret for a split second. And he gets out. I don't know. He saw the starport timing. Yeah, actually. Will Cure move out before he has medevacs? It's kind of a tenuous position. But I think this gives MaxPax quite a window in order to get his Colossi, in order to get Thermal Lance, and add potentially more gateways. He's got 3 in the main. This isn't a game 1 situation. He is adding 2 more. It seems he doesn't want to make the mistakes of the past. And also this 4 siege tanks. There are no Ravens, importantly. Nothing with which to disable the Colossi besides pounding them into oblivion. $52.48 in the worker count. MaxPax with a slight lead, but with mules factored in, Cure actually has the economic advantage. Couple Marines run it in, actually getting some probe kills. The Colossus will immolate it, but now he knows there's at least one. And the medevacs are out. Cure is eager to put himself out there. He knows if the Colossus count, I think 3 is the number. 3 Colossi is enough to easily roast away any Marines, as well as do real damage to the Marauders. 2 is manageable, but 3 is difficult, and 4 is right out. Okay, that's when you need some Vikings. It is a bit of a liability for the Protoss to get that many, but if you can bring them to bear, it becomes very... Oh, wow. He saw the observer. Yeah. Cure turns are like, wait a second. Hey, did you guys see that? See? Whoa, God. But divide and conquer will be the strategy here for Cure. He's got the 4 siege tanks over to the left flank, a sacrificial probe. Already set up with the tanks. Oh, the sentries. Take a hit from the leading tank here. The double drop in towards the main. There is no blink. He has to deal with it head on. The Marines themselves dangerous. And that's a lot of +1. He's just fighting. And he's winning. The Marines into shield battery overcharge, but he could maybe go even for the pylon here. Micro's back. Losing 8 probes. And the Marines are still working, like the Sim City here is actually working against the Zealots. The Marines are still going. 9 kills. And all these Zealots. Finally will be cleaned up. And Cure just backs off because, I mean, he already did the damage. 9 kills. He's up 11 workers and looking to compound that even more. No armory done, so these can be dealt with almost immediately, but 13 worker kills. And Cure never even presents a target with his main army. There's no way MaxPax could have fought the main army, as he never got even close. The double drop again. Devastating, terrible, terrible damage. And now MaxPax is once again in a tough economic situation. His upgrades, media, it's 0-0 against +1/+1. He's about to have +1 attack, but upgrade advantage is not something that MaxPax will be seeing. Another double drop comes in, and Cure Easily takes out the attempt at a 4th base. And the tech here at the natural, but Cure tearing right through it. Takes down a pylon. There's a second one to back it up, at least for now. The other army, we don't mind. The lion's share of 12 kills there. And here we go again. Round and round we go. Another Nexus targeted. We'd be able to get it in time. Pre-splitting against the Disruptor. But no shot fired. Down goes another Nexus. And into the main. Finally deals with, I don't know, whatever was in there. I think Widowmine. 16 probe kills, though, and Cure still has the majority of his army in tech. Double drop into the main. He is absolutely tearing him apart right now. Cure might sacrifice a few units. They'll expect some of us in the wreckage, brothers. But in the end of the day, he's certainly winning the war. The pylon depowers every part of the production, and with it, Cure ties the series up at 2-2. Well, a pretty decisive game there. MaxPax's attempts at early aggression slap down, and just when he gets back on his feet, Cure hits him from the other side. And that repeats itself right up until the end with the knockout blow. That one final pylon.
Who does that?
Match point. We're going to altitude. Game 5. Between the best Protoss in Europe and the best Terran versus Protoss player in the world. Yes, his Terran versus Protoss is actually rated higher than Maru's. And Cure, well, Cure is the second highest ranked Terran. So it stands to reason some of his matchups might be similar or even better. And I think, well, one, the reason for that is Maru's a bit self-selecting. At risk of sounding somewhat disparaging, Cure has a tendency to beat up on lesser nerds. Not that MaxPax is one, but Cure plays in a lot of the weekly tournaments where it's very unlikely he'll find someone like Hero or MaxPax. Well, actually, he finds them pretty regularly, but the rest of the Protoss just get, you know, rolled over. Maru plays very rarely in anything but the highest profile tournaments, so does that mean Cure's padding his stats? The ranking actually kind of factors that in, because obviously if you're only playing high-level players, you're not going to have as high a win rate, so it's not a percentage. It's actually factoring in the opponent you're playing, but even then, Cure slightly higher than Maru. And I think it is because Maru has a tendency to overthink it. He has a tendency to overanalyze his opponent. Not that he doesn't still have huge success in TVP, but whereas Cure throws in a cheese or two and then falls back to Marines and Marauders, and he gets the job done. Kills the probe. Engineering bay block at the natural. Yeah, I think we're kind of splitting hairs here. It's the comparison between apples and very, very marginally, almost imperceptibly better apples. As it is just a tiny percentage point of rating. So an NG Bay block. MaxPax just goes for the third. The blocking of the early expansion, getting turned on the Protoss a bit. Stargate will be the choice, as so often is. Cure is doing the most predictable possible play out of this. Cure is going for the reactored Hellions. So when you force your opponent either into some early gateway aggression or into an alternative natural, that opens up a lot more opportunity for the reactored factory. The Hellions, much more likely to get shots onto the probes. Or at the very least, find a fight against those early gateway units. Now, of course, this again means that Cure is going for the heavy tech play, which MaxPax was able to punish previously. But at the same time, like, even though the Hellions are predictable, and they've already been spotted, doesn't necessarily make them significantly less threatening, as there's no easy way to chase those things down. An Oracle is coming out. There are Adepts, but Hellions can actually kind of just run by both of those units. So with 4 of them, a real danger to the probes. It takes 3 Hellion hits to kill a probe. If you have 4 Hellions, it becomes relatively easy to one-shot a big group of them. The Oracle lights up. Alright, 1 Hellion dies. He's on the chase. The Shade is actually marginally slower than the Hellions. We'll get 1 more hit. The Oracle energy has already been burned. Loses 1 Hellion, but MaxPax is able to block out his main. At least for now. Adding on a Robo to follow it up. Phoenixes as well. Looks like we're headed towards that Phoenix Colossus play. Behind it, we got a second Cyclone. For Kier here. He's got his 3 racks up and running. That core Terran production. Hellions make it into the main. Picks up one that isn't as bruised. A second Phoenix, though. Oracle. Relatively unchallenged. The shield battery will protect the rest of the probes. And, well, the Hellions are diffused. They aren't Widow Mines. They do need some friends in order to kill that significant amount of probes. And now MaxPax have 43 to 32 workers. Should be taking his 3rd Nexus at his natural, yes, but 3rd Nexus relatively soon. Kira has 3 more gases on the way, looking to tech up himself. Or at least support his upgrades and his starport. Couple Phoenixes, or a couple Cyclones will zone out the Oracles and the Phoenixes. There's the Robo Bay. 2 gates for MaxPax. So not too much gateway production, but enough to have something to zone out without committing his tech units. Delays the starport by a few seconds, but also helps him get a timing on it. MaxPax shaping up here in the decider match. In quite good shape. Now, 3rd base is on the way. Colossus in production. No Raven. There will be no Raven in this game. We got the 3rd Nexus at the 2nd, finishing up extended thermal lance. Stim, combat shield +1, the triple threat coming together alongside those medevacs. Kier putting himself out on the map. I think understanding that if the Phoenixes are sharking around like this, there's probably not too much behind him for now. Oh, the Stim Marines almost get one. But he gets away with it. It is damage that has to be healed. Now, this is honestly the closest out of 5 games that we've been at this early mid-game phase. I think MaxPax is in a perfectly solid position to defend, but it could all go sideways incredibly fast. With a double drop, with a misplaced set of Phoenixes, with even a shield battery overcharge in the wrong spot at the wrong time, it's on MaxPax to be able to defend for the next minute or so. And if he can do so, he's in great shape to follow up and pressure Kier's 3rd. But this is also the most dangerous part of the game because he has 5 gateways in production. He has no upgrades. He doesn't have a 4th. So any economic hits are potentially critical damage. He doesn't have the gateway production in order to threaten counterattacks. And he doesn't have enough Colossi to split them between his bases. So, a double drop. I expect that double drop to be Kier. The double drop, we both know you want it. No, let's not lie to ourselves. He's threatening it here as well, out on the map. Oracle is continually looking around. He knows about the 3rd command center. +1 attack now done for Kier. But MaxPax is filling in his tech tree. Templar Archives. Charge. +1 himself. Neither player wants to commit. Kier playing it safe. Not sending in anything that could really cost him the game if it gets killed. Oh my god, the stasis. blocking the expansion. The probe saved temporarily by the Phoenixes. He actually manages to dodge the stasis SCV there and get his command center landed. Cute move by MaxPax, who's now going to try to slap down a 4th base. Important to stay ahead of the economy of the Terran as much as you can at this stage. You don't want to be trading directly. Those bio units just get too cost effective. MaxPax kind of spearheading the Zerg-like Protoss style of just mass charge lot stalker. Though we do see some Archons here. And until there are ghosts on the field, and speaking of, those Archons can be incredible. Oh, he's gonna target down another Nexus. No cancel there. Widow Mines connect. Take out an Oracle. That Oracle kind of important. Maintaining vision of the army. MaxPax needs a 4th base. Very important he gets that going. The armory just now starting for Cure. It is very much about the tech at this stage of the game. Who has ghosts, disruptors, colossi with thermal lance, archons, widow mines. These units, most of them ignore armor and weapons in many ways. A lot of spell casting to be done, but eventually you do want to fill that in. And when we get to the mass unit phase, which we're coming up on here, those upgrades start to matter a lot again. Especially when it comes to charge lot counters or medevac drops. MaxPax is looking to chase down whatever portion of the army he thinks he can beat. This one's a bit tenuous. That force field strongly suggests those units don't come any closer. The Archon having none of it. Widowmine gets a Zealot, but taken out. He does have observers with the army. Charge lock counter. Cure loads up a massive drop. Wow, what a risk. He just throws it off to the side, scans. Wow. The Phoenix is a bit suspicious here. I think he noticed in seconds before he spotted it, but is there going to be enough in the main? He recalls back to the main base. The Templar Archives is right there. He's going to roast the army. It's actually kind of blocked in. EMPs across the board, but the shield battery overcharge will negate it for now. The Colossi are holding, but the Marauders are actually chasing them down and will knock down both Colossi. Again, it looks like MaxPax has bitten off more than he can chew. The drop in the main is still doing damage. The tech is vulnerable. He lost 2 Colossi to the drop. Oh no! 7 probes down. The Archons can't get in, especially if they're spending their time killing their own gateway. The drop will be dealt with, but at what cost? MaxPax underestimating that Marine Marauder yet again. And now Cure has some momentum. Not a huge supply lead, but he keeps a running MaxPax around here. 3 Archons outranged by the Marine Marauder. Looks like a Zealot counter doing okay, but the Warp Prism may very well go down. Only a couple SCVs taken out. Widow Mine's cleaned up. Archon still going to work. No Stalkers to back him up. No Blink at all. 2-2 on the way for Cure. MaxPax struggling to put his army together. He's adding in more Templar. Good roast. The thermal lances slicing through. Fully extended here. Not as fully as the last mini patch, unfortunately, for MaxPax, but Cure falls back, though he's been able to take a 4th. And throughout all this, while MaxPax suffered some dramatic losses, he still holds on to his 4th Nexus. Gonna try to take out some more mines here. Cure always good about leaving them. They almost always are worth it. Even killing a Zealot is the same amount of resources as the mine itself. +3, +2. Oh, the Warp Prism! Knocked down by 4 Vikings. Intercepted there. And that option is now reduced. Only 1 Robo for MaxPax. We're not seeing the 4 or 5 Robo late game. He's adding a 2nd now. But Cure is maxed out. He's got +2. He's got +3, in fact. on the way. +2 armor about to complete. MaxPax still a long way off that +2 attack. The disruptor shot goes far wide. And enough ghosts here. The EMPs evaporating the shields. Even the Archons can't withstand it. EMP is the Nexus as well, for good measure. MaxPax, I think, understands. You see on the minimap here, where he had his army in position, but just not quite in position enough. You're so clearly outmaneuvering him right now. MaxPax has his army in a defensive spot, but the way it stands is Cure always at least half a step ahead. MaxPax banking on winning one big fight and carrying that across the map, as it gets harder and harder to take the war of attrition here. Cure has 3 more command centers in production. Just look at Cure, the hunter. He's waiting for a mistake. The EMPs wipe out a lot of the Archons, but doesn't get all of them. The Disruptor, dodged by the Medivacs. Cure just daring MaxPax to move out on either side. Meanwhile, the full-on attack force field actually connects. Oh, the Disruptor shot connects past it. MaxPax still trying to make progress, but Cure remains maxed out here. MaxPax trying to escape from the tightening grip of the Terrans. Wow, Cure's so patient. He's just waiting for MaxPax to overextend. He's got him bottled up on 4 bases. 4 bases is usually pretty good, but Cure is holding on to the rest of the map right now. He's got +3 done. He now has a 3 upgrade advantage. Well, Disruptors don't care about that, but almost everything else does. Disruptor shot, though. Big hit! And that's sometimes all it takes. Can he capitalize? Cure wanders out. He didn't realize the army was out there, and that mistake cost him. How many ghosts? He lost 4 ghosts in that hit. Not sure how much of the rest was involved. At least a couple of the Marauders. Well, Widowmine's on the high ground, but now MaxPax pushes back. Over to the left flank. MaxPax's army. The positional game here. Both armies are so dangerous to each other. Force field. What happens to Widowmines when you force field on top of them? They can still unburrow. I don't know what happens there, but here we go. This is a big fight here. I don't know if it's the big one, but EMPs across the bow, looking for what he can. Disruptor shots, finding connections. The salvo on point, but the Colossi are knocked down. Cure eating a lot of hits. 17 SCVs. +3 armor is done. He doesn't have any fadeaway shots. And the Terran army consolidates. The amount of Medivacs is too damn high. The fadeaway shot is dodged. But MaxPax fired off all his shots early. A common and regrettable mistake, but definitely a relatable one. Now Cure. Well, he's got Liberators on the way to deal with the Ruptors. These Zealots are no match on the open field for the 3-3 Marine Marauder with more Medivacs than almost the Marines and Marauders underneath. He's got 11 Medivacs right now. MaxPax needs those Disruptor hits. Or Colossi. And/or. He's got 3 Colossi in production. Just finished up 2, I think. Trying to rebuild that army. He dove directly in between the Terran bases, but Cure was able to box out enough until he could collapse in. He didn't knock MaxPax out of the fight, but he certainly bloodied him on the way back. Here comes MaxPax going straight up again. Counterattack out of Cure. Vikings find an angle onto the Colossi before the fight even really starts. One Widowmine burrows. Counterattack, taking out the base to the north side. That Nexus is done. Double barrel salvo here out of MaxPax. Zones out Cure for now. The third base is under attack. We've got more Medivacs than he knows how to handle. Those Widowmines are recharging. But depowers 2 out of 3 Robos. Liberators holding the high ground here. MaxPax won't want to press into that. And the counter attack with the medevac still so tough to deal with. Another Widowmine recharges and takes, oh, could have been a Colossus. Thankfully for him, it was not. Targeting the Colossi onto the bio, doing a great job thus far, but Cure dodges it with the medevacs, and the planetary's holding, and with it, Cure makes his stand, and with it, drives the Protoss out. An epic conclusion with 4 games in a row of back and forth cheeses and counter aggression. Finally, it ends. It ends with the People's Terran doing his very utmost to hold the line at the planetary fortress. I think just a more patient player. MaxPax unable to find those connections as Cure just a little bit ahead of him. Though, a really just a dynamic series, a dramatic one. But looks like Cure maintained that little edge I gave him at the start. So thank you to Master Coliseum and World Team League for putting on the tournament. Thank you for watching. If you got the means of motivation, be awesome if you could check out Patreon or YouTube membership, or just make sure the right video autoplays after this one. Wake up! It's the wrong one! But thank you for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck. Have fun. I'll see you next time. Stay chill.